It all starts with failure.
Nemesis is down, the shockwave kills Bwipo, and Rekkles can all but watch his Nexus die. Top Esports bounce back in Game 3. The Nexus is being destroyed, and Fnatic won the first two, lost the next, and Top Esports will force a Game 5. And the final blow for Fnatic. Top Esports, for the first time, will pull off the reverse sweep. Top Esports will face off against Suning in the semi-finals. And for one more year in a row, we are guaranteed an LPL representative in the final.
It still hurts. Fnatic's loss to Top Esports was a terrible moment for the team, Rekkles, EU fans alike, and especially my Twitter feed. But all jokes aside, it was extremely painful, especially because of what followed. Fans didn't know it at the time, but their sweetheart Rekkles would be leaving the team to join arch-rival G2 in the off-season. And this iteration of Fnatic would never get a chance to play together at Worlds again. In the end, Fnatic parted ways with Nemesis and brought in Nisqy from Cloud9. The coveted marksman position went to Upset, and Fnatic faithful and other fans alike were quick to question the ability of the roster. Now, by all accounts, the roster of Bwipo, Selfmade, Nisqy, Upset, and Hilly should be regarded as a title contender in Europe. But it was almost like the circumstances combined with Rekkles' departure made it that nothing would be good enough for the fans. Understandable, perhaps. I was optimistic about this lineup. Nisqy returning to Europe after proving his strength in NA many times over. Upset always at the top ranks of marksman in the LEC. Now maybe in the right environment to realize his full potential. Selfmade, who was born to play in the carry meta. RIP jungle changes on the next patch. Bwipo stepping up as a new figurehead for Fnatic. And finally Hylissang coming off of a fantastic world championship. But the fear was that there would be no one to stop the int, that there wouldn't be a Rekkles or even a Nemesis to slow the team down when they went in too hard. Now in week 1 of the LEC, Fnatic started slow, or very fast. It seemed that the fears of unguided aggression of the roster might be correct. Fnatic only picked up 1 win in the opening Super Week and had some work to do. But with a little bit of time, we all started to see signs of what this roster could become. Innovative and well-rounded drafts and clear game plans. Selfmade is still the king of the jungle, Nisqy is a stabilizing factor with outplays of his own, and the bot lane seems to synergize very well. And for me, the absolute cherry on top has been Bwipo. I may be biased, of course, because he's Belgian and so am I, but honestly, it's been pretty phenomenal seeing the development of this guy from being thrown into the roster in 2018 and making it to the World's Finals, to heartbreak versus G2 in Europe, to losing Rekkles and having to step in and step up as one of the figureheads of the squad and show us some insane performances so far. For instance, on Riven and Volibear. So what if Rekkles leaving was what the team needed? What if taking away that stable, dependable core of a roster is exactly what was needed to shift the narrative around Fnatic and where they could go? A 4-game winning streak so far, including a win over G2, should make Fnatic fans very happy. While the LEC is currently a 3-horse race, the middle of the pack is filled with sleeping giants who could wake up come playoffs, so there is no time to lose. But in my opinion, Fnatic are on the right path. Unless, of course, you believe in jinxing them through a monologue. In that case, you're a doofus and I can't help you. Let's get into the game. Fnatic versus Vitality.
Thank you very much, Shox. Great monologue. We'll see who it curses. It always curses someone. I've cast a curse enough teams myself to understand the power of them. And we are going to get on into Fnatic Vitality as soon as we can. I'm still Matic. He's still Vedius. You haven't changed into one of your other personas?
What other personas?
Oh, they're brothers. Sorry, I forgot. Brothers, nieces, nephews.
Brothers?
There's a really, like, he's a bit smaller than me, really strong, big muscles.
No idea who you're talking about. So, going into Champions Select ahead of Fnatic versus Vitality, the players reported an issue to League officials. We are now redoing Champion Select, and we will be with you shortly. But
can you guys tell where the auto cue stops there, by the way? It's after the word champion in the Champion Select.
You didn't have to tell them.
Yeah, but we'll be getting on in as soon as we can, of course. There was just an issue reported to the league officials. But before we do that, I do want to have a look just at the standing as to how Fnatic and Vitality is shaping up so far. Because Fnatic, we already heard from Shox, are one of those top 3 teams that are really challenging to, with G2 and with Rogue, to get to the top of the table and to get towards those top 2 spots when it comes towards playoffs. And I think at the start of the season, I would have said, Fnatic aren't there. Like they were not consistent enough to be a top 3 team, but they've really grown over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they certainly have. Fnatic are probably my favorite LEC team to watch right now, just because of how like chaotic every single one of their games is, right? And at first, you're sitting there being like, okay, like this is entertaining, but is this really good League of Legends, you know? But as weeks have gone on, yeah, it's become pretty damn good League of Legends, and that just makes it even cooler because at first I think a lot of, I mean, I don't know how many comments I read of, why even bother watching the LEC? It's just G2 and everyone else is gonna lose.
True.
And like, sure, G2 is a great team. Everyone knows they're a great team, but we have other great teams in the LEC too, and I think that Rogue and Fnatic are the teams that are hot on their heels, which is what makes them ultimately so fun to watch. And also just with very different styles.
Yeah.
I think that right now at G2, even though they have a lot of wins, they've been very chaotic, and I think a lot of it has been relying on individual talent, getting themselves out of crazy situations, a lot of 1-3-1 comps. Rogue, very clean, very calculated, very precise in their execution. Fnatic, chaos. They just thrive in the chaos, but they make the chaos work. They love to skirmish you. They love to fight you. They will contest those objectives. They like to pick strong early laners, and I think that with these 3 distinct styles, you have a very interesting triangle sitting at the top of our league and questioning like which one is going to be able to come out on top at the end of the regular season and in playoffs.
That's always an important question to ask. Vitality, on the other hand, sitting at the bottom of the table, 1-8. They haven't really found their style yet. They haven't really found their identity. And I think a lot of people look to Crownshot coming in last week as perhaps someone that could revitalize this team, that could wake them up a little bit. And I think expecting him to do that for last week was a little bit of an expectation, a little bit too generous to him, saying you can come in on 1 week, change the entire team, and revitalize them. But now he's been with the team for over 7 days. He's had that time to be the vocal shot caller that the team wants. Let's see how they can perform today and this weekend, and see perhaps if they have a chance of getting off the bottom of the table.
Of course, it is going to be difficult because we know that while Vitality do have Crownshot, Fnatic, the talk of the town, is the man in the top lane.
Yep.
Wide Bwipo happy.
So wide.
The man is popping off right now, and he's part of the conversation for mid-split MVP. Like, you can go onto all the LEC socials, you can comment, you can shout out who you think is your favorite or who your candidate for mid-split MVP is. But I think that with Bwipo's most recent performances, he's been a part of it. And part of it has been the champions that he has been playing. Look at the bottom of your screen. We've gotten a Pantheon. We've gotten Ornn, the classics of the Bwipo, the Renekton, the Valée, and the Riven. We had the Riven. It was such a pleasure to watch. And he dominated on it. He got 11 kills in that game. Medic, do you know how many kills he is away from 500 kills throughout his career?
So here's the thing. Do you want me to do the rhetorical? No, I don't know, Vedius.
No, I wanted you to tell me
12.
the answer.
Exactly 12. He has 488 kills right now. Could be this game.
It could but
be
he would have to trump his own Riven performance to be able to get that. But yeah, he has 2 games this weekend. He is very close to that kill record. What's even more interesting is 63 of those kills were solo kills. That is 13% of all of his kills were from solos. Like, the man has been a monster ever since he joined the LEC, and while he has had his ups and downs, it's almost like he has been unleashed this split on some of the carry picks that he has been bringing out. So we know we're going to be keeping our eyes on the top lane matchup, and we know that he has his eyes on Crownshot, because if he loves killing anyone, it is those AD carries in the bottom lane. So it's going to be a bloodbath. We know that for sure. The question is, can Vitality keep up with the relentless aggression that Fnatic has now been known for?
Firstly, it'd be hilarious if Fnatic today had decided, no, we're going to try out new styles. We're playing slow, Azir, Corki meta, let's go. I do have a new update for you guys going into Champion Select ahead of Fnatic versus Vitality. The players reported an issue to league officials. We're now redoing Champion Select off air. Just to clarify, in the Champion Select, you will see Upset and Hylissang's champions didn't swap until the timer goes out. In the correct draft, however, they are swapped. So we'll see Upset playing a support champion, I assume, and Hylissang playing an AD. That will be swapped over in the actual game.
There you go.
There we
Updates.
go. Yeah, updates.
So we're going to be jumping into Champion Selector very, very soon. So you're going to be looking at our faces for a little while longer. Vedi duo that's going to be bringing you our final game of... Oh, no, they're going to remove our faces. Very
Thank
cool.
goodness.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, no subtle dig. Yeah, look at Bwipo's face instead.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's pretty good, because how long has it been since you had a haircut?
A while.
Yeah, and your next haircut is like end of March or something. It's been a long time since I had a haircut, and I'm now getting to that middling phase where it's not as long as I want it to be, so I can't do what I want with it, but it's too short to have like a proper Viking bun.
You want Viking?
I want it. Hey, why do you think the beard's coming out? This is getting braided.
Okay.
Hair's getting braided. We're going full Viking.
Wow. Okay. I mean, your British ancestors may be very upset about that. You know, there's a long history between the whole Vikings and the Brits.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not sure how much I want to relate to my British colonial ancestors. They did some pretty bad things.
True. That is true.
The Brits in the past.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Oh, history.
Oh, the joys. But yeah, coming back to...
Yeah, how are you going to bring us back on topic, Medic? How are you going to do that, huh? I mean, you started the whole hair thing. I'm just saying.
Kevin, please.
Yeah. Anyway, I will bring us back on topic. Of course, it is our final game of the day. We're having a bit of fun here because it is our last game. We are just waiting for everything to get ready, everything to get polished off. I promise you, everyone at home, that the game will be starting very, very soon. This should not be... I'm touching wood right now.
Oh, Vedi, don't say it. Don't even say it. No, I'm gonna interrupt you before you say that this should not be a last week scenario.
No, that's not what I said.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, wow, Medic. Well, of course you're going to say that. Look, you're just going to jinx us all. Really. I was going to say this should not be a slow game. That's what I was going to say. It should be a bloodbath, right?
I love bloodbaths.
Look, Crownshot smiling away, having a great time.
I mean, you say it should be a bloodbath. Where, like, my expectation is always that Bwipo will pop off, right? And you always look up towards the top lane when you're trying to see someone pop off. But I also think people are underrating Nisqy. I think Nisqy does a lot of work for Fnatic that people don't really see.
Okay, but okay. I hate it when people say underrate in general, because I think the idea that he's underrated suggests that people believe that he is worse than he actually is. But
okay.
I think that Nisqy...
Overlooking probably is the word.
Overlooking, yes, because I think that
that
Nisqy is, like, he kind of matches my expectations, right? I think that he is very good, but he's also not really put in a position where he's supposed to do things that Caps does, right? And so I do not think that he's underrated. I think that he is, he's just not the star of his team.
Yeah,
and
I think people don't think he's a great player, which he is. I think he does his role incredibly well because he's not the star of the team. People look for the guys that pop up. They look for the Caps. They look for the Recklesses. They look for the Bwipos. They look for the Hylissangs and the Mickeys. Everyone else, list some more, Vedi. Give me some more.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go. You just left me out to dry there, Vedi. A little bit of jazziness.
Yeah, they always
Some
like
syncopation.
they love mellowing us out for game 5, you know?
With the way we go into the start-off music, I think we need a little bit of mellowing out. Let's see what we see in draft. Team Vitality on the blue, get rid of the Thresh and the Samira. Fnatic are going to remove the Udyr from the pool.
Okay. Oh, Samira respect ban going over towards Upset. As a reminder, we are, of course, still on patch 11.3. The Samira nerfs have not come through yet, and Upset did pop off last week on the champion. If you want to talk about carry players on Fnatic, he is definitely one of them when he gets his hands on this bloodthirsty AD carry.
It's also his second most played this season, alongside the Kai'Sa. He's played 3 Samira games. There's the Renekton taken away from Bwipo, Twisted Fate removed from the pool as well. We've seen that very often, and Milica is well known for his performances on the TF. Fnatic have a final ban here. There's a few different options. You could take away the Kai'Sa, unless you want to give that over to Team Vitality.
Yeah, I think that a lot of teams have been banning Kai'Sa recently just because they're really tired of having to deal with it, but she will be left up and available along with the Azir as well. But Seraphine is always the champion that I now think of when it comes to Fnatic. I was going to say for Fnatic, but it seems that Vitality are going to deny that one away from Nisqy in the mid lane. So I wonder what answer they'll have, because my expectations is that this Seraphine will be mid Of course, it can still be played in AD carry or support. Senna, Seraphine, I think is still a very powerful bot lane. You do need some sort of tanky front line so that they can face check up towards the top side. But yeah, I think that the champion is very versatile and honestly should be prioritized a little bit more in the draft. But yeah, I like the pick away from Fnatic because it was definitely a good pick for Nisqy last week and he had a great performance on the champion.
I also quite like taking away the Olaf. Seraphine Olaf is just so strong. There's Rell alongside Lillia, and we have a Spice Girls composition for Vitality so far. We got Sporty. I don't remember the other class. There's Ginger Spice was one of them.
There's Posh Spice.
Posh.
But I don't remember. I was not that big of a Spice Girl.
Yeah, nor was I. More S Club 7 man myself.
Same.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, don't stop believing.
No, wait, that's the wrong. That's
oh
steps.
no! Oh no!
S Club 7 was don't stop, never give up.
It was. Yeah. Anyway, a bit of look into British pop culture for you. Moving into the second phase of the draft, we do have the Alistar locked in for Hylissang. Again, another very big comfort pick. So kind of comfort picks across the board from the side of Fnatic. I'm a little bit surprised on the high priority on the Olaf. We already talked about how after the nerfs, on this patch, it would start to slowly fall off, and it's clearly not been as high on the priority list this week, but Selfmade saying even with the Lillia open, he still wants to play it.
One thing I do like about it is it gets rid of an AD jungler, one of the stronger ones that teams up really well with something like a Seraphine in the mid lane, because you have that AD AP mix. And Seraphine, of course, can get that Moonstone Staff of Flowing Water combo just to keep buffing up the Olaf as he tries to heal through his opponents. Lucian and the Misfortune banned away here by Fnatic. Orianna taken away by Vitality. Does that imply that the Seraphine is going to be mid? Because I'll be honest, I don't see Seraphine Rell as the best bot lane combination.
I mean, I thought that it was going to go mid in the first place because I think that personally, I think with the current meta, it actually makes the most sense mid lane. And I love the Ryze as an answer. We'll get to see now Nisqy on one of those, I think, higher impacting champions. Because on the Ryze, you do want to be pushing in mid lane. You do want to be roaming around a lot. And it seems that Fnatic's expectation is that this Seraphine is mid. And with the Xayah locked in now, we can say for sure. The thing about Seraphine in the early game, her wave clear is very weak. She can do very little to stop just Ryze pushing, roaming, which can make it harder for junglers to actually invade. But Selfmade and Nisqy, they have a very powerful early game mid-jungle duo. And you know that Selfmade loves to try and ruin the enemy jungler's day. So I think he's going to be working very closely with Nisqy and with Hylissang to get into the enemy jungle, steal away a lot of camps, and try and snowball into an early lead.
Vitality will round out their composition with Aatrox for Szygenda. First time he's played that this season. Fnatic now have the counter pick for Bwipo in the top lane. Last week we saw Riven. What's it going to be? What's it going to be, Bwipo? You're going to give us something spicy? You're going to give us something more team-oriented?
I think that... I mean, they have engaged with the Alistar. A bit of follow-up engage wouldn't be bad, especially if they still want a little bit of team fighting.
There we go.
And I do quite like this in terms of the context of their comp. The Wukong top lane obviously stacks a lot of armor, and when you look at the primary damage dealers, you are looking at the Xayah and the Aatrox. You can get a fair amount of benefit from that armor. Of course, the scaling of Lillia and Seraphine will become problematic later into the game, but regardless, the lane matchup, I think Bwipo should feel pretty confident about it, and I think that generally we can trust Bwipo's opinion when it comes to top lane matchups, so we'll be keeping our eyes on that 1 versus 1 in the early game. But yeah, mid-jungle for Fnatic is definitely what I want to be watching in the early game, seeing what Nisqy and Selfmade can do together. Meanwhile, for Vitality, will they get dragged into this heavy skirmish style that Fnatic love, or will they be able to find advantages and control the game themselves?
Just to remind you all, if you're confused by the reason Upset is playing Alistar and Hylissang is playing Kai'Sa, they have swapped. It's just the champion select graphic didn't swap. So Upset will be on the Kai'Sa when we get on into our final game of the day, Vitality up against Fnatic. And on to Summoner's Rift we go. Vitality trying to do something a little bit spicy here in the bottom lane. Szygenda, Labrov, and Milica all team up. They're not going to find anything. Fnatic have just set up a normal line of scrimmage. Couple of people down in this bottom side jungle. Wukong covering top. Selfmade on the Olaf covering his Razorbeaks.
That ward on the blue buff is quite interesting. It does suggest that Selfmade is going to start up towards the top side.
It's a very early ward then.
Yeah, it is very early. Trying to think, the only main reason why you do that is because right now they have no one covering. Here, let me bring the mini-map up. So right now they have no one covering that entrance. And because, as you'll notice, a very quick back from Hylissang means that Upset didn't feel confident staying there by himself, so instead he was staying in the Tribrush, and now they're gonna get into lane, as we often see the leashless starts for many junglers, so that the 2 versus 2 does not get influenced, because getting that early level advantage is very, very important in the 2 versus 2 matchup. And Labrov already very far up in the laning phase. We see him copying a similar strategy to what Vander did in the last game, staying in the dismounted form first.
So something you do, yeah, you dismount, you get the shield, and then when you remount, you can get that little flip back and get back onto your horse if you need to get out of the fight. So the reason you go in dismounted is that little bit of a shield you get when you use the crash down. Bwipo going to try and trade here onto Szygenda in the top lane, just whacking at him with his staff. Szygenda is forced away.
Ooh, interesting pathing here from Selfmade. Did clear out his Raptors. I believe he was...
Oh, the ward stayed up for this time, so...
Yeah, and then immediately goes into his blue buff. So this does suggest that he wants to deny the potential Raptor Oh, actually, this is very smart from Selfmade. You can see that he's played against Lillia before. Yeah. We only have to look back at the last game when Inspired with his Lillia did Raptors into enemy Raptors because of how quickly you can move. And while I said that Seraphine, rather, in the early laning phase often doesn't get prio, on the very first wave, because you have the double stack, it's actually very easy for you to get that push in mid. So they have that mid prio. They could have looked to steal away those, and that's why that ward was there, but it was denied. So Selfmade adapting his jungle pathing to have to deal with what Skeanz has drafted, and now he's going to start pathing up towards top side to cover for Bwipo, who's going to be pushing in this wave. I want to make sure that he does have that additional bit of safety. So you can see his health bar relatively low. He does have the wards. Wouldn't be surprised to see him, reset right now. His wave, though, could we very quickly have a look back at that wave? Yeah, so this is just frozen underneath his tower. This is going to force the TP out from Bwipo, I would imagine. Because it's in a bit of an awkward spot right now. If he left this, then he would have been a wave down against Szygenda, who then could have reset and then looked to TP back. So the bright side of TPing, though, is that he's in a position to help cover the bot lane. I imagine he will look to move first.
Surround sound comes out from Milica. Look at the beat drop. Selfmade's already down. First blood. Milica flashes away. And that was a fight over the top side Scuttlecrab. Hylissang worked his way into the mid lane as well, but Skeanz should just be able to claim this one.
I'm a little surprised that Selfmade actually committed to that fight, that he clearly thought that their 2 versus 2 was stronger, but the shield from Milica's Seraphine was very impactful this early on. It is surprisingly large, and the amount of damage and utility you still provide in this early game on Seraphine is nothing to be scoffed at. So props to Vitality. They draw first blood against Fnatic. We questioned how they would handle this heavy, aggressive style, and honestly, I say I'm surprised. I shouldn't be, because all we've been talking about is how Fnatic love to skirmish and love to fight. They took that opportunity, and this time round, Vitality came out on top.
You can see Szygenda's actually in an okay position in the top lane as he burnt his teleport to get back into that wave. Milica trading with Nisqy in the mid. Gonna be fine for the moment. Misses the high note. Nisqy continues to trade in, but you can see Milica building up. That little bar underneath his health bar is his stage presence. When that gets to 3 stacks, he can use one of his abilities and double it up. Usually, when you're getting traded on like this, you can either use the high note to push out the wave, or surround sound for that little bit of extra healing and shielding.
Yep, so you never have 0 stacks, because the passive always procs a second time. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I've been playing a little bit of... So I started losing on tank supports, and then I started playing Seraphine.
She's fun, isn't she?
She is, and it annoys me how fun she is. As trades here in the bottom lane, has the stun there onto Crownshot. Upset. Pushing forward just a little bit, but willing to back away because he knows, of course, Labrov can come crashing down very quickly and get that attract and repel stun down.
So, no real major advantages gained outside of that early jungle skirmish. We can see mid advantage, of course, through the farm lead because of the bit of roaming from Milica. Also, it can be quite hard to last hit with her Q during the early laning phase. Nothing too surprising, though. What is interesting is that Skeanz did get both Scuttlecrabs, so has a lot of control over the early jungle, as Selfmade kind of went back to his side of the jungle and said, all right, I'm just going to stay here for a little while. Has hit the level 5, though, alongside Skeanz, so things kind of going pretty neutral for this early game. When the level 6s come through, that's where I imagine the chaos will start. Nisqy just hit that level 6 mark, so he has his ultimate available. Where will he look to roam? I'd like to see him go up towards the top side of the map, try and get Bwipo rolling. There's that level 6 from Bwipo.
And as you say, like, Fnatic are very happy just to wait this one out a little bit.
Nisqy's
Nisqy's working his way down towards the bottom lane. Big wave pushed in. There's the Realm Warp. Here comes Nisqy. Crownshot has the heal, has the flash. Labrov catches Hylissang underneath the tower, and now Nisqy's the next target. Tanking it up, it's upset. One tower shot isn't quite enough to take him down, and that Crownshot needs to bring them back both underneath the turret itself. Crownshot flashes away. Nisqy trying to trade back in. The blades don't quite pull back in time. Nisqy will flash. Skeanz still on the chase, doesn't have the 6. Swell Seed went a little bit wide, but watch out upset, because Skeanz is here to party. Nisqy now looking for the execute, I believe, to this next tower. The minions are going to do the job as the Swell Seed finds its mark. It's a double, and Skeanz is 3-0, Vedi.
So another great turnaround from Vitality. We were wondering when Nisqy would look to roam, and he saw bot lane, he saw the stacked wave. But watch this minion wave and how it kind of ruins things for Nisqy. He can't get a lot of his damage down onto the knocked up carry because these minion waves are in his way. So he constantly has to reposition. They then don't quite have enough damage to get that kill, allowing Vitality to get that initial kill. Then it's the 2 versus 1. But at this point, Crownshot's just trying to buy time for Skeanz to arrive with Seraphine shortly behind. He used his flash, he realizes that he's trapped between 2 towers, which means that upset is the easy target for Skeanz. So very well played from a Vitality duo. And yeah, who'd have thought minions helping Vitality out there?
We call this bowling for Ryze.
Bowling.
It's a strike. I'll see myself out.
So, Dragon is a point of contention as the engage comes through from Hylissang.
Crownshot, no summoners, and he has nowhere to go. Hits the 6 off the minion, the flash forward!
It's again!
No! He flashed forward for the Void Seeker, but couldn't quite land it because the minions got in the way, and now Labrov is here to help out his AD carry.
Vitality minions are popping off this game.
Seraphine's on her way down as well. Milica level 7 has the encore, can look for a little bit of a Barney here in the bottom lane, but isn't going to find it. And as you say, like, Fnatic will get the dragon, but Vitality being saved by their minions twice now.
Hey man, it's a team game. Finally, the minions give him back. I mean, they give us a lot, to be fair, but now they're giving us even more. As they help Vitality out twice, as Bwipo losing a lot of HP here.
As the execution is calling, but there's the World Ender coming out from Szygenda, and Bwipo just trying to trade in, has to flash away. Szygenda has a flash of his own if he wants to chase here. Bwipo will have the clone, the decoy back up, so we'll be able to escape.
Took the tower shot as well. You know, this is the thing about Fnatic. They're a skirmish-heavy team. They love to look for plays. They love to look for fights. But sometimes those fights can backfire, and we're seeing another example. Bwipo does have a lot of solo kills, but he also is one of the highest in terms of total deaths we have in the league. The man is hyper-aggressive, and there, he took a tower shot. Nearly paid for it with his life. So Vitality holding firm, holding strong, keeping the gold dead even. Definitely a good state to be in as we approach the 10-minute mark against the very aggressive Fnatic squad.
Here goes Hylissang once again. The Attract Repel stun is there. Upset underneath the tower. Will be able to help Hylissang get the kill as he dodges away with the killer instinct. Here comes Skeanz once again. Labrov has a good flank position here. Hylissang has the unbreakable win. Will get the knock-up. Upset going in once again. Here's Skeanz to get the kill onto Hylissang. Now the question is, can Adir take down the Kai'Sa? Instead, Skeanz will just walk away.
Well, definitely a much better trade this time around for the Fnatic bot lane. They were able to kill both Crownshot and Labrov, and they only had to trade Hylissang's life to do it. While it would have been better for them to have both kills go over to Upset, as Szygenda just gets a solo kill on to Bwipo. Beautifully played. I was just talking because I didn't think that that would convert into a kill. But extremely well played by him. Nisqy now on his way to top lane to try and get some revenge, but too little, too late. As Szygenda's just going to walk away with that one.
I mean, it's great stuff from Szygenda. You can see both of them have specced into a little bit of grievous wounds to try and help themselves out in the 1v1. And once again, we'll see Upset and Hylissang here. Hylissang, I think, hex splashes over the wall.
You can see the engage comes through, the chain CC, no ultimate or flash available on Crownshot this time around. Good CC comes out from Labrov to prevent Upset from getting that last hit. And at this point, Vitality's thinking, okay, well, now that Skeanz is on the way, maybe we can even get a double kill here. The remount from Labrov, but a good re-engage from Hylissang actually prevents him from offering any real utility. And then the burst from Upset is enough to be able to get that kill.
And you actually really see the reason that Alistar is so heavily prioritized into a Rell. It's so easy to interrupt her. Telegraph W, if you knock her away from the attract repel, it's really hard for her to do anything. And you can see, once again, you just jump in, knock her up, harass her down. It was very difficult for the Rell to ever get in position to use any of her CC.
Wow. Huge credit to Vitality. You know, you talked about it, Medic. A lot of pressure was put onto the shoulders of Crownshot's shoulders. I think I said that twice. A lot of pressure.
The shoulders of Crownshot's shoulders, yes.
Yeah,
the little mini ones he has on his shoulders.
After spending...
Oh,
hang on.
This is bad. Relmore Pin, but Melissa's here. He's got the encore. He can try and trade in. There's the encore. Gets the double charm out. Szygenda goes down, but he's traded 1-for-1 so far. And Bwipo takes a little bit of a nap in the top lane. 2-for-1 in favor of Vitality, and they're not done yet. It's all on Nisqy to try and trade back. Misses the overload.
Here comes Rell.
And Labrov is on his way. Magnet Storm available. And Nisqy, very sorry, my man, you don't really have many places to go. Attract Repel for the stun. Magnet Storm drags him in. There's another kill in favor of Vitality.
Skeanz has 6 kills.
Yep.
He has been everywhere that Fnatic has tried to make a play. And this aggressive Fnatic has been punished. Very impressive stuff from Vitality, and the reality is they don't really have to do a lot. They just wait for Fnatic to make the play, and then they answer. The crazy thing is, even though they are 9 kills to 5, the gold is dead even, because Upset has been getting these plates, he has been collecting his own share of kills, and now, because of this objective going down, they're likely going to get the gold lead as well.
And it really becomes a battle of who can win out between Skeanz and Upset. Skeanz going in once again. Zhonya's complete on him. There's a giant spell as his second part of his item. Szygenda getting traded on here by Bwipo as he tries to dash away. Should just be able to escape. And I do want to give more credit to Skeanz here, Vedi, because it was only last week we were saying, what's he doing in the early game? He didn't have high jungle proximity, he didn't have high kills and assists, didn't have a gold lead, and we were wondering what he was doing for this team. But right now he's doing quite a lot. Labrov trying to get into this fight. He's already used the attractive repel. Skeanz trading in. Killer Instinct comes out from Upset. TP now used by Vitality as they try and turn the tide to battle. Szygenda stepping forward. Hylissang with a knockback. The attract repel is available, and that's the stun on the cow. Hylissang locked up. Upset's going to use the cleanse to get away from the lilting lullaby. Labrov still stepping forward. Vitality continue on the chase as there's a Cloud Drake available to them in just a second's time.
So, while Vitality do get a kill and will likely get the Drake, the bigger problem is that giving even more plates over to Fnatic. So, even with... Oh, hang on a second.
Magnet Storm coming out. Ragnarok has been popped, but pop goes Selfmade. Dead as soon as he stepped into the river.
I do not agree with that decision at all from Selfmade. Olaf is tough, but he is not like 1 versus 5 levels of tough. One reason could have been to try and interrupt the backs, try and delay Vitality, give more time for Bwipo to take down this top tower, because again, still overall a net gain for Fnatic, considering they got 2 towers in total off the back of the last few minutes. But yeah, I'm not quite sure why Selfmade committed so hard to trying to stop that from that Drake from going down.
And we talked about before the game started whether Fnatic were playing like a top 3 team. There've been a few moments, a few mistakes in this game that kind of make you doubt that a little bit. They haven't been as consistent as they have been over the last couple of weeks. They are still in the lead here, and of course, if they can continue to extend this gold lead, to extend this advantage, they can dominate this game, but it's going to take a little while.
So the thing about Fnatic's comp though, even though they're not behind, right? No. They still have a gold lead, they're down in kills, but when we kind of look at XP and itemizations, it looks like Vitality is ahead in XP. They have the lead in jungle, they have it in mid, and they have it down towards the bot side.
Yeah.
The AD carries, that's the one that I was looking for.
I mean, bot is fine.
But now that the map and the turrets have gone down, Fnatic can actually start opening up the map and they can start funneling gold into players like Nisqy. He can sit in a side lane and no one on Vitality can match him, right? As the game progresses, Aatrox can be a strong champion, and yeah, he's 2-1-2 right now, but even then, Ryze will get to a point where he's just unstoppable in a side lane. So Fnatic will adopt more of the G2S comps that we've been seeing, you know, this split push approach where they'll keep Wukong and Ryze separated as Vitality want to try and stay grouped up and keep looking for these fights.
Well, you promised me action, Vedius, so we're definitely getting that. As Szygenda is locked up underneath his own tower. The World Ender isn't enough to save him. The charm only hits onto 1. Here goes Labrov, diving onto the backline with Magnet Storm, and the 3-man stun isn't enough. Double kill to Upset. 1 will get traded in response, but now they're trying to dive onto Skeanz. Upset with the Gale Force will find its mark. He gets a triple, and Milica is forced to walk away wounded.
Do you remember when turrets used to be considered a safe haven? Well, when playing against Fnatic, that is not quite true. They go for the dive, and they're the ones that finally get a play going in their favor. They get themselves 3 kills, they get themselves the mid-tier 1, and all of a sudden what was a very close game, what was Vitality shutting down and punishing every play Fnatic made, it's like you throw enough eggs at the wall, some are guaranteed to stick, and this time around, it's stuck like glue. Fnatic pulling off a flawless dive, having Hylissang tank up the majority of the damage. I love this engage from Labrov, the stun and everything, but the crowd control immediately gets broken by Selfmade. He then gets that shut down. Upset's able to get such a huge shutdown as well. Look at that, 2 items now suddenly completed for Upset. And all of a sudden, this game went from being very close to being fully in control of Fnatic.
Upset has a 2,000 gold lead now, Vedius, on this Kai'Sa. Pick ban worthy, and Upset is showing us just why it is. Hylissang also, his scoreline betrays him a little bit, but he's had some very good engages, very willing to be the front line that his team has needed, especially since Bwipo has yet to be able to really join up with the rest of the squad. Now Fnatic will work their way up towards the top side of the map and take down this Rift Herald.
I would call his deaths tactical deaths, right? You know, like, whenever he has died, there has been a very clear reason behind that. Honestly, most of them, because he is tower diving with his team, right? And his one death in bot lane, he died to keep this AD carry alive. So, like, yeah, as you rightly said, his scoreline definitely betrays him. Hylissang is having a fantastic game, and just... this man isn't slowing down. He's like, oh, there's an enemy there. I have a QW combo that I can use on you, right?
We'll hear later tonight, apparently, from Zanzaro. Is jungle ruined? Well, I mean, Kadra went on a 0-8 win loss streak yesterday. Yeah, he got me demoted out of Plat 1 to Plat 2. He came on a Smurf to play with me. He was like, oh, easy wins, right? And then lost the game with me and got me demoted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jungle is ruined.
He was playing AD carry, but yes, jungle is ruined. Blue buff is the point of contest here between Fnatic and Vitality. Dragon up in 41 seconds, and Ocean Soul could be an option for Vitality to get back into the game. Ryze ult is available, as you say, Vedi, but the trigger has not been pulled. Fnatic, for once, deciding they do not need a skirmish. Instead,
but now.
Yeah. Yes is the operative word there. As they just get a bit of deep vision here. And this is the problem for Vitality. Like, they're going to have to step into darkness if they ever want to get towards this dragon.
And so this is one of the things we talked a little bit about in draft. You kind of have to rely on Labrov to be that face check, that front line. Not that tanky as of right now. And just, can we have a quick look at what Vitality can see, observers? Show us what they see Hylissang charging straight towards them, and they see 3 members of Fnatic taking away their jungle, and you can see how difficult it is to approach that Ocean Drake. There's no real way that they can contest it. It's only the 3rd Drake of the game, so Vitality are going to focus on staying alive and securing this farm, and maybe they can even get a little bit of vision up towards the top side if they so choose as well. Thank you very much, observers. It really helps illuminate how difficult some of these situations can be for a team that just doesn't have the vision.
I mean, really, when you show us Vitality's vision, you're deluminating.
Correct. Yeah. You deluminate to illuminate. See?
Oh, well, very, very smart. Good man.
Quite, yes.
Let's not go back to the English accents. I realize that I started that one. I will take it on the chin. Let's keep it in our regular accents for the moment. 50 seconds on the Baron. Vedi goes ooh as he sees something picked up.
Because that is an Everfrost.
Oh, it is.
On Nisqy. Now, this item did get buffed.
On 11.4.
Oh, is it next patch?
I believe. I will check quickly now.
I thought it was 11.3 that it actually got buffed. Because I remember seeing a bunch of Kassadins buying. I mean, like, Kassadin has been buying it for a while, but yeah, this item.
Yeah, it's 11.4. It gets buffed.
Okay, very cool. My mistake then. But this item is cool because it gives you health and mana. So I think that it is the closest to Rod of Ages that you could like get. So I wondered if some of the old Rod of Ages champions would actually buy it. But it's also kind of combined with what the old Hextech GLP was, which provided that utility, the slow, but now it's more like sets W. So if it hits you in the middle, it'll actually root. So I'm really fascinated to see how Nisqy uses it. Maybe it's just a little bit of added utility. Maybe he really likes the additional tanky stats that it provides. Yeah. Very interesting.
I think with Ryze is he gets a lot of his damage just through having mana, through having a little bit of tankiness so he can get more spells out throughout the course of a fight. Something caught out just a little bit here. Floating Lullaby comes down. Hylissang, what? Look at that. That's such a good position for your support to be in. Just totally saves his jungler's life. And yes, Selfmade has to use his ult to get away, but Hylissang doesn't even get taken down in the process. He warded off 3 members of Vitality all by himself, while Vitality now look for the mid lane tier 1. Nisqy in the bottom lane chunking away at that tier 2, and Vitality look to accept this trade, although Szygenda is on his way down to bottom lane. Should be able to catch that wave before Nisqy can push it in.
Ultimately, though, this was a mistake from Selfmade, which cost Fnatic a tower, so Vitality going to be happy taking advantage of that. Selfmade's second Rift Herald, which he has thrown down in the base, hasn't really been able to get a huge amount of value off of that.
It's getting its rested bonus.
True, yeah. The Ryze going to look to push in through the bot side of the map. And then they can look to try and use the Herald as well. So I think that Szygenda is going to interrupt it, though. I'm not sure they're going to get a huge amount of value off the back of this objective.
Warp it in. Warp it in, Nisqy. Instead, he's going to walk it in, clears out the wave. Szygenda will get a control ward himself. Isn't actually going to come straight down here. I just walked across. There we are. He should be able to get this Rift Herald. Won't get much. We always talk about second Rift Herald not doing too much. As the TP comes into the top lane, they're looking for Bwipo. Does have the decoys, going to try and get away. There's the Drowsy. Sleep goes down. Crownshot trading in, and now Bwipo uses the decoy. Just afterwards, Labrov flashing forward, though. The Attract Repel will be enough to get the stun off, and the Cyclone will not save Bwipo. Realm Warp used in the bottom lane as Nisqy tries to join up with that Rift Herald to charge in. However, it's only got about half HP, and it's dodging around in the wrong direction just for a moment as it goes back in. Vitality going to start up the Baron.
I like this, though, from Vitality, because they're forcing Fnatic to come and fight them with a numbers disadvantage. At the very least, they can get the TP out from Selfmade. Let's see if Vitality can secure it.
Nisqy's going to look to TP into this fight. Selfmade has the Ragnarok up once again. Labrov has the Magnet Storm almost off cooldown. It might actually be there already. TP coming in from Nisqy, 3,000 HP. Hylissang diving in. Labrov using the Magnet Storm to try and do what he can. The Ragnarok coming in as well as they look for the fight. Upset, forced away, charmed up, encore, hits him right in the back, and that's the first kill. Crownshot's got one. Crownshot's looking for more. Skeanz gets Selfmade as well, and now they turn back towards the Baron. 1,000 HP on it. Nisqy stunned up by Labrov, but he's more distraction than anything else. TP coming in here from Bwipo. Doesn't have the Cyclone, does have a flash to try and get onto the back of Milica. One down as Skeanz now trades back in, dives onto Nisqy, just has the damage, I believe, as he pops the stopwatch and pops Nisqy as well. 2 left alive for Vitality as they will try and back away, but Bwipo stepping forward once again, still has the flash himself. Szygenda wants a little bit more of this action, and Bwipo trades back in. Szygenda healing up a huge amount with that passive. You can see Bwipo doesn't really know what to do in this situation because Szygenda can just continue to wail upon him. Bwipo has the flash, the Infernal Chains will be flashed away, and a happy penguin comes out as Szygenda finds his man.
That is another solo kill going into the back pocket of Szygenda as Vitality secure themselves the Baron and more control over this game. This was a much-needed fight, and just look at what Labrov does onto the backline. They keep Upset preoccupied. Crownshot with a beautiful ult onto Upset, into the charm, into the flash, means that the bot lane gets their revenge onto the duo of Fnatic as they shut Upset down, and Hylissang, there's little that he can do left in the fight. Selfmade was left isolated, and Vitality then look to clean up. Now, Nisqy with the TP. Things look pretty promising here, and you can really see some of the damage from this Ryze. But keep a have a look at it. He actually misses his Q. He goes to the right, which means that he ends up having to give his life in exchange for Skeanz. If he'd survived there, Fnatic may have been able to clean this fight up, but a small fumble on Nisqy's side means that Szygenda is able to get a solo kill onto Bwipo.
Hylissang looking for the flank once again. It's Ocean Dragon. Third Dragon of the game for Fnatic. If they take it, it would only be Vitality's second. You can see both teams gesturing, posturing around the pit. Battle lines are being drawn as Bwipo tries to get in behind them here. Decoy pop the Cyclone, not quite available. The Feather Storm will dodge it immediately. Labrov healed up. The Encore's going to rip straight through Fnatic. It finds 3. Nisqy falls to sleep at the wheel, and Upset and Selfmade have been forced away. Vitality have totally turned this game on its head. Fnatic no longer look like a team fighting for top 2. Instead, they are battling with the team at the bottom of the table.
Vitality just keep getting the team fights that they want. They know that the best way for them to win is to have as many 5v5s as possible, and they need to avoid skirmishing. No side lane plays, no 2v2s, no 3v3s. Labrov doing his best to keep Bwipo busy.
I mean, Szygenda and Milica are on their way. Bwipo, you get a support, but you pay for it with your life. Vitality Vedius now in the gold lead, 2,000 gold ahead. Remember, this team is 10th in the league. They are 1-8, and they are fighting up against Fnatic.
Whew. Very impressive stuff from Vitality. Definitely a different look for them. They punished Fnatic extremely well in the early game, and now they're getting fight after fight. I'm not sure how much value they're going to get off the back of this Baron. Well, they did get a decent gold.
4,700 gold out of the Baron.
But that top tower is still up. They haven't been able to break many lines of the tier 2 towers. So, excuse me, even though they've now reclaimed some control, you can see in the goal difference that yes, they've been able to swing things back in their favor. The map is still quite neutral, right? If Vitality can keep getting these fights, then yes, the game is going to keep progressing in their favor. However, Fnatic, they're going to look to try and play two sides. They're going to try and play split push, and you can see Nisqy sitting in the side lane with Hylissang covering him. A very common move that you'll see from players like Hylissang, who kind of loves to be a bit of a split pusher himself, as they'll look for picks, look to catch people off guard. And again, I'll say it, I think Ryze is going to be very difficult to deal with. As strong as Szygenda is, I don't think this is enough.
TP coming in from Vitality there, committing to this play. Labrov has a flank position. There's the Rell warp, but Hylissang once again sacrifices himself for his team. Hylissang dies. I will just mention to all of you, Bwipo is still in the game. I know it showed he disconnected. That was just something to do with pause buffering. He is still in the game and still playing, even though it didn't show him as reconnecting into the game.
So now that we've confirmed that Bwipo is in fact moving.
Still in the game, yes. Just wanted to, you know, there's always someone at home who's just wondering.
He's still there. As you rightly said, Hylissang gave up his life. They did get a teleport out from Milica.
Szygenda still has flash here. Alistar coming in though, and Upset's looking for the damage. Stopwatch used by Szygenda. Crownshot's on his way. 7, 2, and 4 on this Kai'Sa, on this Xayah, sorry. Can't quite get into the action. Labrov looking for a flank position, but has the Magnet Storm once again. There's the Attract Repel. Looting, Swell Seed goes wide. No Looting Lullaby yet. Skeanz doesn't want to put Fnatic to sleep, or at least can't, because he didn't connect with that rolling Swell Seed.
Can we talk about how Crownshot is level 16?
Yeah, I was going to do that before we had the fight in the top lane. Like, think about it. Skeanz was miles ahead and Crownshot was behind early game. And what Vitality have done so well is transfer that lead into Crownshot now.
I mean, yeah, I haven't been following Crownshot the entire game. The fact that he's level 16 is absolutely crazy. And we're just having a look back at this play. Hylissang, this is the second time he's done that this game. Oh wow, that charm was so close. And Hylissang, he almost made it back to the teleporter, but unfortunately, he was not quite in range.
So it wasn't only the charm, also the knock-up from Szygenda's Q was about to hit Nisqy and knock him out of that realm warp. But Hylissang sacrificing himself once again for the good of Fnatic.
He's literally like, it's like that scene from Gandalf where, you know, when Frodo turns back and then Gandalf's like, fly, you fools. As the Balrog drags him down. You know what I'm saying?
Is Seraphine a Balrog?
No,
I mean, I'm sure she is to the Bracken. That's evil, Seraphine.
Yeah.
Bwipo looking for a flank here as he tries to get in behind Szygenda. Does have a level disadvantage, but look at where Nisqy is. Doesn't have the realm warp. He can come join this team fight in just a second in the bottom lane if he wants to. Labrov going in. There's the Ragnarok popped. Nisqy just around the corner. Bwipo,
have a look at this. The Baron just
Baron's
spawned.
up. Baron's up.
Double TP is available for Fnatic, and Szygenda's made his way to safety.
Ooh, look at the cow.
Yeah, but I don't think that really helps them because Selfmade doesn't have Ghost. He doesn't have ult. There's no way for him to get into the pit.
Can they delay though? Because Nisqy and Bwipo can take this inhibitor, and if they can delay Vitality's recalls.
I mean, it's really Fnatic's only option. They realize that they can't keep fighting Vitality like this because they're going to lose. So instead, they'll just take whatever they can get. Honestly, this could just be more farm into the back pocket of Vitality. The question is, if Fnatic can get this next Drake, then things get a little bit more interesting. However, if Vitality get it and they get another fight, I feel like this is just a one game for Vitality.
You definitely think so, and I do want to just bring back something we talked about all the way back before the game even started, Vedius, and that was Crownshot's effect on Vitality. And I think Fnatic have misplayed sometimes this game. They've overstepped a few times, but Vitality looks so much more cohesive this week than they did last week. So much more able to play their composition to its rightful strengths. And you can see them really challenging Fnatic here, and with them being very vocal about Crownshot being the key leader on the team, I have to wonder how much of an impact he is having here for this Vitality lineup.
Yeah, it's a big debate, of course. This is only one game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot of the early game was Vitality punishing Fnatic, but you're completely right in that, like, they said that the change was to bring about more direction, more cohesiveness, more decisiveness. I think we're seeing that from Vitality.
They have just given up this Ocean Drake, though.
The question is, will they keep it up? And as I said earlier, this Ocean Drake, I think, is going to be important for Fnatic because now they have a clear win condition, Ocean Soul, right? Nisqy's going to continue to farm, scale up in the side lane. You can see 3 items finished for him. But as long as Vitality keep getting these fights, I think it's very difficult for Fnatic to win, especially considering how weak Bwipo is right now.
Of course, Vitality have to deal with the super minions pushing in the bottom wave. That inhibitor will be down for the next 3 minutes, 10 seconds, as you can see, just above the minimap in that right side of your screen. This is only the 4th tower of the game for Vitality, but with it, a 2,000 gold lead for them. Really, that amount of gold means these teams are basically even right now. It's like having an extra 10 pence in your back pocket as Bwipo looks for a flank position here. Flash in from Nisqy. Crownshot pops the Feather Storm. Bwipo already dead. The sleep comes out as Crownshot pops his stopwatch. Nisqy underneath the tower just about surviving, but he's been shut down by Szygenda. And Vitality are on the offensive. Vitality are on the front foot. And the charm comes out and Fnatic fall. Vitality ace Fnatic in the top lane.
That is 5 dead on the side of Fnatic with 4 still standing for Vitality. They have the Baron buff. They have enough minions to end this game, and they're looking to get that upset.
First it was Schalke, the Titan killers. Now come Vitality, disrupting Fnatic's 4-game winning streak and taking only their 2nd win this season.
I can hear the tweets at Shox right now.
I hadn't even thought about that! It starts with failure and continues with losing to Vitality.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Shox. It was really a good monologue, but it was Vitality that came up clutch. What an impressive game from the squad, sitting at the bottom of the standings. Could this be the start of their miracle run? Could they start the winning streak to make the race for playoffs? It only makes our league ever more exciting, but Fnatic, they were punished. Their regression was answered. And while it looked like that they gained control over the game, a few really good team fights from Vitality allowed them to get a really big win. And like, I think that's where I have to give the most credits to Vitality. The fact that they recognized Fnatic... I
need to interrupt you. Key player of the game, Shocks at LEC on Twitter. I mean, like, I had to say it as it came up. I was made to do it, Shocks. Please. The actual key player of the game, I am being told by Kevin, you troll, at LEC on Twitter, Szygenda, Skeanz, and Crownshot are your options.
I think Crowny is going to get it, even though Skeanz should.
I think it's the first time we've really seen Skeanz pop off this season.
Yes,
and I think he definitely helped carry
Szygenda
Vitality.
solo killed
Bwipo
twice.
Yeah.
So...
Oof. Well, we're soon going to hear more from Szygenda before Zanzara joins us in the LEC post-game lobby. Don't you go anywhere.
Systems are overloading. We can't risk another game.
We need to take a break and regroup.
We're starting to lose our mind. Captain, we cannot go back to Elo Hell. Last time it took us months to get out of it.
Initiate break protocol.
Hurry up!
Yes! Yes! I did it! We did it! We did it!
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
welcome back to the LEC. Vitality take down Fnatic in the biggest upset we had today. And I have Szygenda for the first time in the LEC with me to talk about the game. Hi, first off. You picked up an important win. I see you smiling right now. You solo killed Bwipo. How do you feel?
Well, I finally feel good after a game. It's the first good game I played this split, so I feel great.
Yeah, man, it was quite a ride to get this win, actually. And what was different today compared to the other days?
Biggest difference was like our mindset going into the game. Throughout like the first part of the split, like the first half, we were playing really scared. We like refused to fight a lot. So like, I don't know, like every Drake we just crossed method and we didn't fight. It was like really cringe. So like. Today, like, we just talked for like the entire week, scrims were just, we need to fight, we stop being such pussies, like, please fight, to do something. So this week we just ended scrims, fighting every fight we could fight, and at least we fight it on stage this time. So yeah, that's the different like, mentality.
All right. All right. I hear the emotion throughout everything you're saying right now. I'm sorry, there's a delay. I thought you were done here. But it's super interesting because looking Vitality play, we could see that you guys were playing scared. So I'm wondering, the fact that you guys were in a difficult situation maybe, and you were seen as the underdogs maybe in this matchup, relieved you in playing more free maybe?
Nah, like the biggest thing was just, for me personally, like the first like games, like for first 5 games or something, I was so nervous that like I couldn't sleep probably, so I just ended so hard. Like it was unbelievable how bad I played, and after time I slowly got more and more comfortable, like playing against better players now. So like I also learned a lot, like how to like play my waves. Finally, I learned how to do this. Like so yeah, a lot of like confidence got from like scrims and the team. We trust a lot at the moment, and we hope we can bounce back, even though it's really hard.
I hope you can bounce back as well, but I mean, we've seen the miracle run from Schalke last year, so I want to say everything's possible. But before focusing on that, I want to come back to the game specifically, because we're used to seeing Vitality being good during the early game, but usually the team collapses during the mid-game transition. Here, you had the edge over Fnatic. We saw a couple team fights where they came back. Did you think it was enough for them to actually take the game, or did you stay confident even during the mid-game?
There was one point where we like, I think a TP bot or something, and like we just lost top turret for no reason. That was like really bad, and they got like so much gold for no reason. Like, yeah, there was also one fight we took on top where we just gave like 2 towers for free with full plates, and it like got it very scary. It's like we didn't know like how the gold situation worked, so it was like really up in the air to see like anyone could win this game. I feel like all the time.
And in the end, you got it here. So you were talking about playoffs chances, maybe the rest of the spring season here. How do you see your chances for playoffs? And do you think this will be the win that gets you guys back on track?
Well, if we like, our chance to playoffs is like if we win one of like, we have really hard games. Like the next 2 weeks we have like Rogue tomorrow, then we have G2 and Mad Lion. So if we win like one of those 3 games, and we beat the rest of the teams, there's like still a chance. So if we get a win with like the next 3 games, then I believe. If no, then there's a very small chance. So it's like we really need to like get an upset again, and then we can start beating the lower tier teams. So whatever, yeah.
You can believe, I mean, yeah, taking down Fnatic is a good start. I guess here for Vitality, you've been waiting for this one for so long, and you get it against one of the top teams here in the LEC. So focusing on what's next, what is to come. What will you talk about with the team tonight to be sure that you're in the right mindset, especially to face off against Rogue tomorrow?
We'll just try to do the same, I think. Like we had a good day today. Everyone got really relieved and happy after the win. Like everyone stood up, like got so happy. Like everyone was shouting. It was like, so I just think we'll try to like do the same. Try to play aggressive. Like just at least if we lose, it's like because we fight and not because we do nothing. That's like how we will have the mindset at the moment, I think.
All right, fight and seize every opportunity. Now, as I said, Szygenda, it's the first time we have an interview. I know you have a lot of fans who've been waiting for this. So is there anything you would like to say to the fans who've been cheering for you for so long and who waited for this moment for Vitality today?
Well, I would like to thank Vitality fans. They're like really crazy every week. They like write to us that they believe, even though we'll have like been running it so hard. It's like insane how good like the Vitality community is. I'm really thankful for the messages. It's like I'm really thankful for you guys and wanted to tell you.
Well, I really hope that their messages can cheer you up and that this win will cheer you up as well. Szygenda, congrats on the amazing win against Fnatic and good luck against Rogue tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to wrap up the day, we're going to take a short break and we'll come back in a few minutes with the post-game lobby with Shox and Zanzara. Stay tuned.